What do you got, Coach? 3 things that all coaches need.
Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of coaches?
New York or the Aces? Definitely going with the Aces.
All right, 4th down. Who has the tougher job, coaches or officials? If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? For Texas, it's different.
Welcome back. This is the Coaches Co-op, where coaches connect, where coaches grow, and share the grind. I'm your host, Michael Prejean, better known as Coach P. Each week, I team up with coaches across the country to break down the wins, the lessons, and everything in between. Man, I got some lessons for y'all today. This week, I'm teaming up with Coach George Lee. With over a decade in education as a teacher and coach, a minister in the church and community organizer, Coach Lee has clearly found not only his passion, but some would say his calling. What is that calling? Serving others. He's a native of Houston, Texas. Coach Lee spent most of his childhood in the community of Greenspoint, Acres Shakers, Acres Homes, for those of y'all who don't know where that is, and Spring Branch. Upon graduating from Springwoods High School, Coach Lee would earn his bachelor's degree at Texas College in Tyler, Texas, where he was an All-American, a 2-time All-Conference selection. Later in life, he would achieve his master's degree in educational leadership from Grand Canyon University. Throughout his career, he accomplished many professional milestones, been the recipient of several awards, while being honored and recognized for his many achievements and accolades. Coach Lee's only goal is to WIN, whatever is necessary to affect culture, equip young people, and empower the next generation of leaders to be successful. He is a devoted husband and father of 3 who loves spending time with his friends and family and doing everything sports. He currently works at New Caney High School in a growing and developing New Caney, Texas, where he is the head powerlifting coach, and he also coaches football. Man, y'all put your virtual hands together for Coach George Lee. Coach Lee, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Listen.
I was trying to figure out who that guy is.
Listen, I'm just reading the bio the way it's written. So that's you, man. That's you. Coach, thank you so much.
No, thank you, brother.
Giving your time today, man. We got some good stuff for the people. Man, there are so many gems in your story that I cannot wait to share with those who are listening and watching. But I want to do this first. This is what we call Talk That Talk. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to talk about all of the great things that are going on in your program, in your building, in your athletic program, and in the growing community of New Caney. So, Coach George Lee, talk.
Well, man, appreciate the opportunity again, brother. Man, look, New Caney is a great place, man. We're located right on the north side of Houston, just a little bit north of Houston, in a growing community right there off of 59 and 99. It's a developing community. We're up to 3 high schools in our community now, particularly at New Caney High School, man. We got a lot of great things going. Just got a new head coach, man, who we're excited about, who's got a vision for our program, getting ready to do some great things. Very young team that's coming back that we're excited about, that these kids are really working hard at developing through our off-season program. And outside of that, man, we're just growing all our athletic programs internally in the building, academically, man. You know, we're challenging kids and getting the most out of kids. Our leadership is great. And we're just excited, man, about the great things that's happening in New Caney ISD. the great things that's just happening, even on our Caney High School campus. And man, we're committed and devoted to serving and helping kids be the best version of themselves. And I, I'm glad to be a part of it.
So as you're hearing Coach Lee talk, real humble guy. But I'm telling y'all are in store for some gems here. So if you're watching, right? If you're watching this later, or if you're listening to this, I'm gonna just go on and tell you, man, go on and get you something to write with. Go on and get your phone out, open your notes up, because there's some things that you're definitely gonna need to put in your notes. Here's the first thing I want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down at the bottom of the screen. So I need y'all to go and follow Coach Lee on X or Twitter, whatever you call it. It's right there at the bottom of your screen. If you're listening, it's Coach _ G Lee _ TC. All right. So y'all go give Coach a follow over on X. And then y'all go on and follow him on the gram as well. If you're over there, Coach _ G _ Lee. So y'all go follow this brother, man. And so you get the opportunity to see all of the things that he's doing. So you get the opportunity to see some of the good work that he's doing. Coach, this is what I want to do, man. I really want to talk about this right here. So the Path for Coaches, Volume 1. If you see mine, man, is getting all, you can see it, the page is getting all flipped up, man. So I want to talk about this. So Coach Lee and myself had the opportunity to write chapters in this book. The lead authors are Chip Baker and Armando Jacinto. Okay. The name of the book is The Path for Coaches. This is Volume 1. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. It's scrolling down there at the bottom. You can get this on Amazon. The Path for Coaches, Volume 1, Mentoring. I want to talk about this because when I tell you that Coach Lee got gems for your life, this is not a podcast. This is life gems. This is life gems. This is way more than a podcast. So it's scrolling down there at the bottom of your screen. You can get it on Amazon.com, The Path for Coaches, Volume 1, Mentoring. So, Coach, I really want to dive into this. So, man, your first sentence, and we had this conversation. Right? But here's the first sentence. And I'm not going to give it all to y'all, okay? You got to go buy the book if you want it all. All right? So I'm not going to give it all. But your first sentence, everything you want is on the other side of hard. When you began writing your chapter, Coach, why was that the first sentence that came out of your pen?
But man, again, like I said, appreciate the opportunity. I won't take credit for saying that came from me. I remember about 6 years ago, man, when I was still coaching and dating at the time, I was watching TV, and maybe it was a little longer than 6 years ago, but I'm going to say about 6 years. And across the TV came across the coach at the time of the Phoenix Suns, Monty Williams. And I remember Monty Williams being in the locker room in a playoff game and using that statement with his team as they were being challenged at the time, I think in the finals, or they were getting ready to play for a Western Conference Championship or whatever it was at the time. And he was just telling his team, they were at halftime, and he came in and he said, "Look, guys, hey, I understand the position that we're in, but we told ourselves when we started this season that everything we wanted is on the other side of hard." And that it resonated with me, man, because knowing the story that Monty had went through just in the last year or two prior to that, losing his wife in a car accident and delivering her eulogy, and just all that he had overcome to be where he was at the peak and the height of where he wanted to be professionally, but understanding what he was going through personally. I realized that in that moment that I truly believe that God had designed us to be able to overcome the hard things in our life. And we just had to kind of, face it with the right perspective. And so I coined that. I've literally adopted that as who I am as a person, who I am as a coach, what I want to convey to others. And that's become the mantra of everything that I do now. Every team, every program, everything that I start with, that's the first thing we talk about is, hey, everything we want is on the other side of hard. Who you want to be as a husband, as a father, as a man, as a woman, as a professional, as a leader, whatever it is, realize that there are going to be challenges in the way of it, and you got to prepare yourself to be able to navigate your way through the hard things in life to get to where you want to be. So, man, that's exactly where that originated from, man, and I think that has really propelled me into who I am and what I choose to be and how I choose to attack every day.
So if somebody comes in to the weight room,
Yeah,
and they, Coach Lee he's the powerlifting coach. So if you come in with those rose-colored glasses on, you need to know that everything you want
yeah.
is on the other side of hard. How do you've been working with kids for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prepare kids for dealing with that quote in particular, right? Because we know, right, as adults, we know that you get to the other side of hard and it's going to be worth it. So how do you
Yeah,
keep kids from quitting? How do you keep
yeah.
kids from sulking, from pouting? How do you keep kids on the right path? How do you get them to deal with setbacks?
So I think you be proactive more than reactive. One of the things that I done when I transitioned from Dayton to Willis, I took an index card uh, when we got ready to start the school year and start the season and the football season that we had, and I was coaching linebackers. And I took an index card, and what I did was I asked every kid, not knowing what they were going to get ready to do next, but I said, "Hey, on the side that had the lines, I want you to start writing down what you want to accomplish this year. But I don't want you just to focus on sports goals. I want you to focus on things that you find to really, really be important and that you really value in life that you really want to accomplish this year. But I want you to be I want it to be more than about sports. And what I noticed is that, when you really, really want to connect with kids, you sometimes have to meet them where they are. And I'm not saying necessarily come down to their level, but sometimes you have to meet them where their pain is. Sometimes you have to meet them where their difficulties are. And sometimes you have to be transparent yourself and let them know that you're human, right? And so it wasn't just an activity for them, it was an activity that they saw me do at the time too. And so those kids began to write, coach. And when I say write, I mean it was mind blowing the things that they put down because some said, "Hey, I just want a relationship with my father." Some said, "I want to forgive an aunt or forgive an uncle or something that may have happened years ago." I mean, it got real deep. It was beyond football. The first two or three lines said, "Hey, I want to make first team all district. I want to make the playoffs." And then as they continue to keep writing, you start realizing that it was deeper than that, right? And then I told them, "Hey, on the other side of that paper, I want you to write the word hard." Then I said, "Now flip it back over. Everything you wrote down is on the other side of hard." And it took off from there, man. We made shirts about it, and we started wearing shirts around, and everybody wanted one, and we had to explain that, hey, these shirts aren't given, they earned. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to go check these boxes. And so, man, I'm telling you, man, it was a beautiful sight to see in that first year that we done it to where it is now, how it's literally become. That's what I coach off of, man. I don't know if there's anything else I start a season with or I start a program with every year. It's going to be around that, man. Like, hey, what do you want? Who do you want to become? What do you want to do? Okay, now it's on the other side hard. And what I tell kids is because you shared with me where you're going and what you want to do, allow me to do what I feel is necessary to get you there. So when I'm yelling at you and I'm getting on your butt and I'm telling you to line it up and I'm telling you to do it over, I'm going to remind you of what you put on that paper because you gave me permission to help you reach where you wanted to go. And we already made a pact that somewhere in the middle of this transition of this journey, that things were going to get tough. They were going to get rough. They wouldn't be easy, right? And so there's a bond and a covenant that's formed through that. And man, I can tell you, man, I've been truly, truly blessed to see a lot of kids check a lot of boxes, coach. A lot of kids check a lot of boxes and accomplish some amazing things. Not just on the field, but I'm talking about in life, brother.
Listen, I know you are a church guy with a church background. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say this for the people who are church folks. You missed the shot.
Yeah.
You missed the shot. You should have took off running when he was talking about the index card and he said flip it over and write hard on the other side. Coach, man, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. We like 16 minutes in, we could stop right there. Because I'm listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, coach. I'm stealing your idea.
Hey man.
Right? You gonna see some kids in my program walking around with shirts that say everything you want is on the other side of hard. And notice I said some kids, not all the kids. Hopefully
not
all
everybody.
The kids. Everybody in the building can't have that shirt. Coach, you said sometimes you have to meet them where the pain is, which takes me to the next quote that you talk about in the book, and you kind of started breaking into it there. That other quote comes from Kara Lawson, who's the head women's basketball coach at Duke. And we've actually talked about this quote in my program. It's handle hard better. So talk about how you build that bridge from introducing kids to look, everything you want is on the other side of hard. So once you introduce that, how do you teach them to handle hard better?
Well, that's the progression. Honestly, man, another jewel was just dropped in my lap, man. I'm scrolling down social media like anybody else, and here's a clip of Kara Lawson, former Tennessee basketball player, former WNBA basketball player, and now a coach at Duke women's basketball team. And here she is telling the kids in her program, hey, it's a lie. It's a myth. When people tell you that life is going to get easier, that's not true. That's not true. And so, and we know as adults that, the things that we dealt with as a child were not the things we deal with now as adults. So we can attest that things don't get easier. But what happens is you learn how to handle the hard things in your life a lot better. And that's the measure of maturity, right? Is how you handle things that are difficult with a better perspective, with a better attitude, with a better outcome, right? I'll go back to something I used to follow. Tim Kiten used to always say, E plus R equals O, right?
Event plus response equals outcome. I'm there, bro.
So at the end of the day, man, that's what we're coaching kids on, is to have a better response. That's what sports is, man. It's a problem-solving opportunity for kids, man. No matter what sport you play, you're giving everything you can to be the best problem solver you can in that situation for a great outcome. But you don't control all the variables in it, right? And so when things don't go according to plan, how do you respond? How do you respond to life when COVID hits and we don't know that about what's next? We don't know what's going to happen in the next week or the next 2 weeks or the next month. How do you respond when, you lose a job? How do you respond when you lose a loved one? How do you respond when situations in your life, things get difficult, right? You learn how to handle hard better. And that's not to exempt what's going on in your life, but I think we have to prepare our young people to be able to deal with tough things. I'll say this, and I know you want to move on, but I truly believe, Coach, man, that sports is one of the last teachers of teaching young people how to deal with failure. I would argue that, man, that suicide rate and all those things that are going on in society today is because a lot of our kids don't know how to handle don't know how to handle failure. A lot of adults, and that's one of the things that we really, really, sports has really, really helped a lot of us with, because it's one of the things that you can still prepare as hard as you want. You can still watch film, you can train, you can do all those things and still come up short. Well, that's life, man. You can go to school, you can get the degree, you can get the interview, and you can still not get the job. You know what I'm saying? You can
That's
take
right.
1,000
Right.
shots in the gym and you can still have the last shot and the opportunity to make it and miss. Well, what do? You know what you do, coach? You get up and you get back at it the next day. You don't let one failed experience stop you from all the work that you put in. You keep working until you get a yes. You keep failing until you get a yes. You keep failing until you succeed, until you get it right. Because the only way to becoming successful at anything is working at it and being consistent at it, right? And so you just got to handle hard better.
One of the things that I'm noticing is it's not all parents, right? But there are some parents who don't want their kids to fail. Right? There are some kids who believe that showing up is enough. Showing up is great. Showing up is great. But it's not. You got to do more than show up. You got to show up and you got to compete. And that's, man, that's in the classroom. Yes. That's on the field. That's on 100%. The court. That's in the job interview. So I agree with you, man. Sports is one of the last strongholds in where we get to teach resilience.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. So you talked about coaches in our profession. So let me see if I can find this. So you talked about this. There are 36,000 coaches in Texas public schools. But according to the Texas High School Coaches Association, 6,000 are leaving the profession each year. As that last, I'm not going to say the last, as one of the last strongholds in which we actually partner with families. We partner with families to help build communities. We help build resilience. Sometimes we have to say no. And because of that, that is a tough job. That's a tough job. You know it. I know it. And I think that's why we may be losing coaches. We got a comment here on Instagram. This is good. This is from Next Level Athlete. Showing up is the first step, but one step is not walking. That's good right there, First Level Athlete. Look, you're going to hear that again.
That's a nugget.
You're going to hear that. Listen, that's a gem. Showing up is the first step, but one step is not walking. All right, Coach. Man, it's so much good stuff in here. I can't give it all away. Y'all got to go buy the book. I can't give it all away. Listen, you said this. When God wants to bless you.
Oh, man.
There it is. He doesn't send you stuff, but he'll send you people. When God wants to bless you, I'm gonna put it on the screen. I had to get it chalked up, right? When God wants to bless you, he doesn't send you stuff, he sends you people. Coach, I want you to talk about. Now, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this for you. You are one of those people that God uses to bless others. You're one of the people that he sends. Who are some of the people that God sent to you?
Man, before I even discuss anybody in my professional life, I can't go any further than my mother, man. The first is my mother. Man, my mother has displayed resilience, man. She has displayed strength, courage. I've seen this woman do some amazing things. We always say, like, I've seen her do a lot with a little. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen her check boxes. I've seen her, check so many milestones in life, man. And I'll say this, Coach, and I'll go on about those other individuals. For a lot of people don't know, man, I had a lot of challenges, when I was in high school. Made a lot of mistakes. And one of the mistakes I made really put me in a bind, and I lost a lot of opportunities. I had one opportunity to go play college ball, man. And during that transition, when I got to tour days, I lost my father, and so I came back home, and I was tasked with the with the I was tasked with the chance to essentially, man, I had to take care of a man that never took care of me, in a sense. I had to forgive a man uh, for not being present, in some situations, but at the same time, do right by him and honor my father and do what God has intended for me to do. And I give my mother a lot of respect for that. But I say that to say this: I made a decision during the week of the funeral that I was just gonna stay home and not go back to school. And my mother, she took all her money in the bank, put her 2 weeks in at her job, and she packed up and she moved to East Texas with me. And my first semester in college, my mother went to school with me because she was determined to not let me give up. She made that sacrifice.
That's good. You talked about you talked about this, meeting them where the pain is. Your mother
Yeah,
literally put that out, right? So your
yeah,
mom serving as your first mentor, man, she knew the pain that you were experiencing. Not only the pain that she was experiencing, right? But she met you where your pain is. Coach, man, that's good. That's good
nah.
stuff, man.
But I mean, beyond that, man, I've been blessed, man. Man, my pastor has been, man, he's truly been just awesome, man. My pastor Reginald McLean, man, he's been a praying force for me through many things, man, and just saw my growth and maturation through a lot. Man, in the professional world, man, man, I've been fortunate, man. I got an opportunity to work with who I call my OG, my mentor now, Jason Glenn, man. Man, if you don't know Jason Glenn, man, he's a wave, man. He's a wave. And
Yeah.
man, he's helped me tremendously. And when I say help, uh, help isn't always a push in the back to push you forward. Sometimes help, man, is putting a mirror in your face and holding you accountable for who you're supposed to be. And so, man, Jason has challenged me in a lot of ways, man, and I'm very grateful for that. I've worked with a lot of great coaches, man. I've had some great principals along the way. I'll say this because I don't want to leave names out. Man, everybody that I work with in Dayton, Coach McCracken, Jeff Nations, those guys gave me a start in this business, man. Took a chance on me when nobody knew who I was and nobody knew what I could do. And I'm very grateful for that, man. And that entire Dayton community for allowing me to serve and just putting that battery in my back and giving me the start. And then from there, man, I went to Willis, and man, I'm telling you, man, Willis, when we got to Willis, man, things took off, man. And I was very fortunate for my time in Willis and the support and things that they gave me. And of course, now at New Caney, man, the support and things that I get from that community is great. But I mean, since we're talking about the book, man, I can't overlook, man, what Coach Jacinto, the opportunity that they've given us with this. Coach Jacinto actually worked with my wife. He didn't actually work with me directly, but he was a mentor to her, and really watching him mentor her and help me. And then, man, Chip Baker, dog. If you don't know Chip Baker, man, that's heaven sent, man. That dude is as good as gold, brother. So, man, those are just a few people, man. My family, my support system, my children, my wife, my kids, man. Without them, man, I mean, I wouldn't be who I am and where I am today, brother.
You Nobody gets there alone.
No.
Nobody gets there alone. You mentioned some names there, some people that I have been fortunate to cross paths with. So man, really, really, really good people that you have crossed paths with. Listen, we're gonna get back to the conversation in just a second, but here at the Coaches Co-op, we're all about building championship levels and systems on and off the court. You're listening to the Coaches Co-op right here. You see us at the bottom of the screen. You can find us on Instagram at podcast_with Prejean. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor that we don't have yet. But listen, it don't matter because iron sharpens iron and real growth happens when coaches support coaches. If you're looking to level up your team culture, if you want to fine tune your playbook, if you need to stay motivated, if you need these life gems, make sure that you check out Podcast with Prejean, the Coaches Co-op. All right, let's get back to it. We are in the Coaches Co-op, helping coaches sharpen their swords. I'm here with Coach George Lee. Coach, there is some other stuff in here that I really, really want to dig into, but I'm not going to touch it. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put this back on the screen. Okay? Go to Amazon.com right now. The Path for Coaches, Volume 1, Mentoring. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Man, yeah. I think you wrote a good chapter.
Appreciate you, brother.
I know, you know what I'm saying? But there are some chapters in here that are so much better than mine, and yours is one of them.
Oh, no, to God be the glory, brother. Nah.
Hey, listen. True story. There's some other stuff in here, but we're not going to hit it just yet. Actually, I'm not going to hit it at all. Y'all got to go ahead and buy the book. Coach, we're about 30 minutes in. Man, indulge me. I like to do a little rapid fire here. I got it on my phone. So let me pull it up. We're going to play a little agree or disagree. You down with that?
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're going to go agree, disagree. All right, so I'm going to read some quotes for you by some people you may have heard of, and then you're going to tell me whether or not you agree or disagree. You down with that?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Man, you might have heard of this first person. Agree or disagree? A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way.
Agree.
All right. You definitely heard of this guy, Denzel Washington. This quote is from Denzel Washington. Show me a successful individual. Man, I wish I could do the Denzel voice right now.
Yeah.
All right, but I can't do the Denzel voice. All right. Show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences and mentorship in his or her life. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay. Here we go. Got two more for you. If you help others achieve their dreams, you will achieve yours.
Agree.
Okay. Loyalty in coaching is rare, and that's just the reality. Agree or disagree?
I do agree with that.
Okay, so loyalty can be rare. All right, here we go, Coach. Last one right here. Last one. In today's game, connecting with players isn't as easy as it once was. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay, dive into that for me.
I mean, look, the game hasn't changed. I know oftentimes we say that society's changed, but I just think the characters have changed, man. As we always say, there's nothing new under the sun. And I tell my kids all the time, ain't nothing slick to a can of oil, right? So at the end of the day, man,
good stuff.
The stuff that these kids face, I feel that most of us, either on this podcast or around our age or older, we come from a very processed generation where, we figured things out. We use scenarios, we use simulations and we use prior examples to figure things out. These kids nowadays, they just have access to everything. And I think that, with that access and not that development, sometimes they take in things faster than they can actually process them. and they get attached to things a lot sooner than they would have in our time or in our day, or even those that were older than us would say that we even got into stuff a lot earlier. So I don't think it's harder to connect, man. I think at the end of the day, you, uh, there is no substitute for being transparent, brother. Like they say, real recognize real. You know, and one of the things I try to be is real and as authentic as I can be, and I think that does the rest. You know, when they can see that I'm not perfect and I can own it, and that I can, be transparent with them, within reason. You know what I'm saying? Be transparent with them within reason. Uh, uh, the rest is history. I think that's also the same way with parents. I start a lot of my meetings off when in the beginning of the year when we do parent meetings. I tell them, hey, I'm going to be your favorite coach. I'm going to be the best coach. You're going to be the one you love the most for 9.5 weeks to that 1 week that I get on your child, your kid, and vice versa. But I want you to know there's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do that can make me doubt or question whether or not I love what I do and I love doing it for these kids. And so I try to be proactive. I try to get in front of it, man, and meet people where they are. I don't think it's harder. I'll say this about the coaching game. I think we've gotten lazier. I do. I think we've gotten lazier
Talk about it.
about doing it. Yeah, I think that's more than anything. I think that we tried to microwave the work. You know what I'm
Agree.
saying? I think we
Agree.
tried to microwave the work, and maybe that's because society is telling us that that they're demanding results more than they're demanding development. But at the end of the day, man, you can't substitute what we're doing. This is a life business. We're in the business of changing lives. In the process, hopefully we'll win a lot of games and maybe we'll add some trophies to the trophy case. But at the end of the day, there's no greater reward than seeing these young people, man, become who they were intended to be.
Listen, Coach, when I tell you, you said a mouthful about coaches have gotten lazy. Listen, because this is a people business and we have an obligation to serve our people the absolute best we can, there are no quote unquote days off.
It's true.
There are no days off. You will get time to rest. Let me say that. Right. So if it's people out there considering joining the profession, because as you pointed out, we're losing 6,000 a year. Man, this is the greatest service industry on the planet. It is not easy. So if you're looking for something easy, something that you can be lazy doing, you heard it from Coach Lee. This ain't it. Coach, man, that is good stuff. I told y'all, if you are watching or listening, I told you the gems would be coming out in this episode. There are more gems in the book. I'm going to hold the book up one more time. So in case you're just now getting to us, The Path for Coaches, Volume 1, Mentoring. Where can you find this book? I'm going to put it back on your screen. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to Amazon.com and you can find this book, The Path for Coaches, Volume 1. Coach Lee has a chapter in this book. I would rate it a 10 out of 5 because it's that doggone good. So this is what we call crunch time. Last 5 minutes, we're in crunch time. So we're going to go 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go 4 downs. Then we're going to go 3 in the key, 2 shots, and then we'll wrap it up with and 1. All right, Coach, here we go. 4 downs. Question number 1. No, let me say first down. Here we go. First down. If you could be anything other than a coach, what would you be?
Preacher.
There it is. What is the hardest thing about the job, Coach, that nobody really knows?
The time away from your own family.
Yeah. I saw you kind of touched on that in the book just a little bit. What's the easiest thing about the job that nobody really knows?
You have to get paid for it because it's work, but it's not work, man. It's life. It's teaching life, man. That's the easiest part about it, man. Is you've lived something and experienced something that you're trying to share.
There it is. All right, Coach, here we go. 4th down. Who do you think has the harder job, coaches or officials?
Oh, official.
Listen, I put on my TikTok this morning, man. I talked about I had to officiate 5 games last night. Man, listen, I could have blown the whistle, coach. I could have blown the whistle every possession, you know, and it was Christian schools playing, so they were nice to me. They were nice to me, but I had a few that was kind of sniping at me just a little bit, right? All right, here we go, coach. That was 4 downs. Let's go to 3 in the key. 3 in the key, coach. 3 things that all coaches need. What do you have for us, coach?
Man, passion, preparation, and then people, man. Like I think you just had passion, purpose, purpose, and people. Passion, purpose, and people.
There it is. 3 things that all coaches need. You need passion, you need purpose, and you need people. You need people on your ship. All right, coach. Man, this right here, I am never ready for what people share with me when it comes to this. So we've done the 4 downs. We've done 3 in the key. This takes us to 2 shots. You can tell I'm a basketball coach. What are 2 of the foulest things that you have experienced in coaching?
Coaches lying to kids. Yeah, that's tough, man. Coaches lying to kids. And then coaches lying to each other, man.
Man, you know what? I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. And that's not I'm not throwing a flag on the play at coaches. It's human nature that when something goes awry, that, sometimes you may fib, but some folks just be lying. Some folks just be lying. I know that is incorrect Queen's English, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Some folks just be lying. Man, coach, this has been so good. This brings us to the last thing in this episode, coach. This is and 1. Anything that you want to share, one last thing that you want to share before we get out of here. What do you have, coach, for and 1?
Man, first of all, man, again, thank you for this opportunity, brother. I think it goes back to what you related on, man, from the book that's just been so important in my life, man. That when God wants to bless you, God doesn't give you stuff; He gives you people. And my prayer every day when I get up, man, is Lord, let me be a blessing to somebody, and then I know I'm truly blessed. And so I would just encourage everybody. You given an opportunity. God is giving you this day. He's giving you breath in your body, man. Serve others, man, and serve others well. And I guarantee you, there's a reward for that. And whatever it is you desire to do, whatever it is you desire to do, it's a lonely place if there's not people there to receive it or to celebrate it. It's a lonely place. So don't be self-serving, man. Don't be self-serving. We're in a great business and a great opportunity to really change and shape and mold lives. And so don't take that for granted.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That was and 1. Listen, y'all, Coach Lee told you, I'm going to reiterate it. When God wants to bless you, He doesn't send you stuff. He's going to send you people. Make sure that you serve. Do not be self-serving. Make sure that you are here for serving others. Thank you, those of you who are watching and listening, for joining the Coaches Co-op. Big thanks to tonight's guest, Coach George Lee. Coach, thank you for sharing your journey and your wisdom. Listen, if you are walking away with new insight or energy like I am, because when I tell you that index card and those shirts are coming to my program, they are on the way. So if you got new insight or energy for your team or your program, then Coach, we did our jobs tonight. Here's what I need y'all to do. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to follow. I need you to subscribe. Listen, right here, go find Coach Lee on X. I need you to go find Coach Lee on IG. What else do I need you to do? I need you to go on and buy that book. Okay. And then follow the Coaches Co-op on IG at podcast_with_Prejean. Hit that like button, follow, subscribe, leave us a review, buy the book. Remember, at the Coaches Co-op, coaches do what most people can't. Until next time, y'all be blessed and be a blessing to somebody else. Coach, hang back with me for a second. I'm going to play the outro and then get us out of here. If I can find the outro. There we go.